I am so many years. How did I feel? I've got no place to go. Follow my mind. Slow down. I'm a prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? Somebody, yeah, to listen to me. Come something counting on you. Yeah. Oh, shackled and bound. Peace and love. Welcome to the NAPPC podcast. We just want to brief you on what's been going on with the brother Imam Jalil Alamin. We want to really recognize what he means to us as we celebrate his birthday. Today is his birthday, so we want to let our viewers know that we have to put a strong effort. We have to take a strong position when it comes to him. So we want to get right to it about Otis Jackson confession.
of the wall with that. Shukran. For 20 years now, we've been trying to get access to Mr. James Santos, aka Otis Jackson. For 20 years, he has confessed to the crime that my father has served 20 years for. For 20 years, he hasn't wavered in his testimony. We've had the documents. We've just never been able to hear his voice or see his face as he tells us that he's the man who committed this crime. Until now.
Mr. Santos, can you please state and spell both your first and last name for the court reporter?
Yes, sir. James Santos, James Santos.
One of the main reasons why you've never heard from Mr. Santos or he didn't testify in our original case is because he's been painted as delusional or mentally incompetent, but that's just not the case. Mr. Santos is well within his wits. In fact, he's intelligent, but you don't have to take my word for it. He was actually evaluated and cleared by a clinical psychologist in 2017 before being allowed to testify in another unrelated murder trial.
Mr. Santos, can you take a look at that report and see if you recognize that to be the report that was completed following Dr. Hudson's mental health evaluation of you in 2017?
Yes, sir.
Does it appear to be a fair, true, and accurate depiction of that report?
Yes, sir.
At this time, I'd request to move into the March's defense 28 minutes.
No objection. That is correct, Your Honor. I'd like clarification on the dates of this one. It's in August. That would be clarification that predates.
Yes, sir. So for clarification, Mr. Santos, it looks like the evaluation was done on July 31st. The date of the report is August 1st, 2017. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
28, defense exhibit 28 will be admitted.
Mr. Santos, based on his evaluation, did Dr. Hudson ultimately opine that you demonstrated a factual and rational appreciation of the legal process with no evidence of a mental illness or intellectual deficit, further finding that you have an agenda for providing testimony which is consistent with your philosophies, lifestyle, and life history? Is that all correct?
Yes, sir.
Crazy what you can find out when you ask an expert. What's also interesting is that though the description given by the victims was not accurate in describing Imam Jamil Al-Amin, it did describe someone else. The primary descriptors being 5'8", 5'9", with cold gray eyes. Now, I don't know if Mr. Santos has cold gray eyes, but I wonder how tall he is.
How tall are you?
5'8".
Another element of the description given was that the shooter was wounded. My father was not wounded, and other officers attested to the fact that the victims were indeed marksmen. So if they said they wounded the shooter was wounded. However, Mr. Santos was wounded. But I'm not going to play a short clip of him saying he was wounded. From this point forward, I'll just play his entire testimony about that night, followed by a reading of the written confessions he's provided in the past.
From October of 13th of 1997 until December 22nd of 2000, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir. October 13th, 1997 to December 22nd of 2000.
Yes, sir.
All right. Isn't it true that during that incarceration, you contacted the Federal Bureau of Investigation and told them that you had committed a murder and were involved in the shooting of a cop in March of 2000 in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
All right. And you couldn't have because you were in prison in Nevada, right?
No, sir. I got out of prison in 2000 in February. I was on house arrest when the murder took place. You might want to check that out. I was on house arrest. I was staying at 2380 Jernigan Street, Southwest Atlanta.
You just said that you were incarcerated in Las Vegas in 1997 through December of 2000.
I went back to prison after that shooting. I was violated and sent back to prison after the police shooting. That's why it says BP by my name. That's parole violation. If you look at the photo, it says BP beside my number. That means parole violation.
You violated your probation. You went back to prison.
Exactly. I violated after the shooting.
You were interviewed by the Federal Bureau of Investigation for that out there at Nevada prison, were you not, in July
Yes, sir.
Of that year?
Yes, sir.
And he ruled you out and said you did not commit that murder in Las Vegas, correct?
I don't know what he's
that murder in Atlanta?
I have no idea what his conclusion was, sir.
All right, you weren't arrested for it, were you?
No, sir, I was
In
not.
fact, another person was tried and convicted.
Jamil Alameen, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And once again, it seems to me like you are getting a lot
I
of
was shot that day.
I'm sorry?
I was shot March of 2000. It happened March 17th, 2000.
Your Honor, we can take a break right now. Come back.
Okay. All right, we'll take a 10 minutes.
After that, I'd probably need a break too, because that was information that was never supposed to make it into the record. As you can see, they try to discredit him at every turn, but it's not possible. He was there. He was out of prison. He was living in Atlanta. And most importantly, he was wounded in the commission of this crime. So now we have a man who has confessed to the crime, who fits the description of the crime, who was in the area during the commission of the crime, who was shot during the commission of the crime. What more do we need, at least, to look at the case again? He didn't testify in the first case. If you think he's crazy, put him on the stand. Prove it. But this is the man who committed the murder that my father served 20 years for. This is the man who was also willing and able to take responsibility for that still to this day. So if nothing else, we deserve a new trial just based on this. But as you've seen, we have plenty of reasons for it. So if you were on the fence, please sign the petition. Please share the petition. We have to let the Conviction Integrity Unit, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and Mr. Paul Howard know that we're paying attention and we demand fairness and justice in this matter.
Look at an infamous murder trial tomorrow morning. A black
So there you have it. We just want you to share it. Share it with as many people as possible. Let's honor the brother correctly on his birthday. You know, we have to commit ourselves to this work. You know, today wasn't an easy day for us to produce our episode, but we did what we needed to do. So, brother, your closing remarks?
My closing remarks that this is power. You know, put this stuff out here. This thing about go viral, that's like a cliche, but you know, go hard with this. You know, the community that supports political prisoners, the political people, you know, this is strong ammunition for you. To the Muslim community, energize this, put it out there, show the reality of one of my favorite ayats in the Quran that says Allah hurls truth against falsehood and knocks its brains out. So knock out the brains of this falsehood, because falsehood is an ever-vanishing thing. Put this truth out here, you understand? It's like an atomic bomb against the state's case. Free Imam Jamil, what's it called? Free them all.